Google Drive folder. Okay, para hindi po kayo mahirapan. Nasa isang folder na po lahat ng mga hinahanap niyo. Even the posts and even the PPT of each topics. Okay? So again, good evening everyone. I am Angelo Hericiano Espinosa and I am your animal science lecturer. And I will be your lecturer for the entire journey of your board examination and the licensure examination for agriculture is batch 2023. So ang last batch was 2022. Ang sabi daw nila ay sibuyas, batch sibuyas daw yun sila because there were a economic sabotage on the supply of the demand and supply of the onions, no? Sibuyas nung time nila. So this time kaya ano kaya ng ano ninyo? Batch na tawag sa inyo ni PRC. No, when they were taking the oath taking in Manila, no, some of my students was laughing because some of my students were laughing because ang tawag daw sa kanila ng PRC ay they are sibuyas, batch sibuyas. So ayun, so hopefully everyone so we can have our discussion tonight, formal, no? And before that, let's recap muna, or let's recall what I have discussed, or what we have discussed, or what you have learned yesterday or last night. Let's see how I will ask question and then you are going to raise your hand. Or if hindi na lang raise your hand, I will call your name because alam ko talaga pag raise your hand, madaming gusto mag-raise ng hand. Yan, parang gusto lagi nag-raise ng hand. Okay, so let's give others naman also the floor. So I will ask the name and then I will call the name one by one and then you need to answer my questions. Okay? So let's start. Let's see if you really listened to me last night. Okay, so our topic last night is the introduction of animal science. So we tackled about the history of animal science and then the classification of how we classify the animal science, no? How we classify, especially in making the scientific names. Okay, so I will ask Sir Eric De Leon. Ayan. Sir Eric, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes po,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Okay, yeah. My question is, what are the rules in making the scientific names?
Dapat naka-italic, just you I said kagabi. Um, yung genus is the uppercase, yung unang letra. Then the species yung pangalawang, yung ano, tawag nito?
Pangalawang word.
Apo.
Okay, so that is the important rules in making or in written or writing in scientific names. The first one is that we all know that scientific names are composed of two words, right? The genus and the species. The genus, the first letter of the genus is in capital letter, and in the species is all in lower case, no, in lower capital, in lower letter. So the next one is the next rules. Number three rules is that we need to in order to make or to write a scientific names, no, we need to make it italic or italicized, no. Pag hindi naman siyang ma-italic, no, pwede nating i-underline. Okay? Hindi po bold. Ang ginagawa is underline. Underline or naka-italic po. Okay? Sandali ha. Ito, bakit din siya nakapasok? Okay, so that was our discussion. Okay, so next. So after having our classification, identifying and writing the scientific names, the thing that we also discuss is about the cells. No, we talk about the cells, right? So we know the cells is also known as the basic unit of life. No, cell is the basic unit of life, and it composed of organelles. Okay, and it composed of organelles. May I know? I'll ask Ma'am Lorena. Yeah, Ma'am Lorena Torrenueva. Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am Lorena. Can you hear me, Ma'am Lorena? Hello, Ma'am Lorena. Can you hear me? Or you are doing important thing? Okay, so let's have si Ma'am Jov. Yeah, si Ma'am Jov. My question is, hello, Ma'am Jov. Can you hear me? Hi, class. Can you hear me? Oh my gosh. Baka nawala ako. Yan. Ma'am Jov. Hello, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's have Ma'am Jov. Ma'am Jov. Hello, Ma'am Jov. Parang natulog at si Ma'am Jov or mahina ang signal. Okay, so let's have Rosalie. Yan, Ma'am Rosalie Lumingkit.
Good
Okay,
evening,
Ma'am
sir.
Rosalie Lumingkit, good evening. Yes, my question to you is, um, can you, what do you call, sorry, in the parts of the cell, no, what do you call, the one that is converting the water and nutrients into ATP?
I try to mitochondria.
Very good. That is mitochondria. So wag po kayong ma-confuse sa word na ATP because ATP is converted into a chemical converted into energy. And that is ATP. ATP are also known as energy. Sabi ko na nga ba may problema si Ma'am Job kaya wala siya agad. Ayan, so next we have, yun, yung pinag-usapan natin and also the process of mitosis and meiosis. Okay, pinag-usapan din natin yun kagabi. Okay, so let's have Ma'am Stephanie. Yan. Ma'am Stephanie, can you give me the functions of two process of cell division? We have mitosis and meiosis.
Ah, so sir.
What are the function of meiosis and mitosis?
Function or
Tingin-tingin sa visual aids.
Uy, wala sir, wala ko visual aid, anak.
Okay.
Ano yung tanong, sir?
Hindi ko makuha sir.
What are the
Sir,
functions of the two cell division, which is the mitosis and the meiosis?
Mm,
What are the main functions of the meiosis and mitosis?
ang meiosis is for ano di ba, sir? Reproduction siya. Meiosis for reproduction.
Okay, so the meiosis is for reproduction system. How about the mitosis?
Mitosis for
cell division.
ano, sir?
Yeah, cell division niya.
Nag-heal siya ng ano as wait. Nasa isip ko eh. Give us 2 minutes for that. Joke lang, sir.
Nire-repair. Very good. Nire-repair niya
Yun.
yung mga
Galing
wounds.
ah.
Mga wounds, no? Nire-repair niya yun. Okay, very good. Okay, so that is mitosis. Nire-repair niya. Okay, so pag may mga sugat, nire-repair yun ng mitosis. It is the mitosis who immediately repair the wound. Okay? So aside from that, we also tackled about
Galing.
ganyo. Ayan, so next we also tackled about last night ito aside sa process of cell division, we have mitosis and meiosis. Can you give me, okay, let's have Ma'am Cheche. Can you talk, ma'am? Or if you cannot speak, you can write it in the chat box na lang. Okay, my question, Ma'am Che, is that what do you call a process of cell eating? the process of cell eating.
Andiyan ka pala, ma'am. Hindi kita napansin.
Ma'am Che,
Kanina na ako dito. Ano ba yan?
what do you call the process of cell eating? Is it a process of meiosis, no? Kinakain
Parang
or
alam ko yan.
ini-inject. A process of osmosis, di ba? We have diffusion and osmosis, right?
Yes.
So, diffusion is from lower concentration to higher concentration. Osmosis is from higher concentration with to lower concentration with ATP or energy, right? So now, my question is, parts of osmosis that engulfing the foreign particles or known as cell eating. Ma'am Che. Oh, Stephanie, hindi ka naman nakasagot kanina.
Phagocytosis, sir.
Very good. That is phagocytosis. And then the cell drinking is pinocytosis. And then our
Pinocytosis.
cell vomiting is exocytosis. Okay?
Exocytosis.
So that is the process in the making of cell division. And yun yung mga process of osmosis. We have osmosis and diffusion. Yan yung mga process of entering and papasok at lalabas yung mga nutrients doon sa plasma membrane. Yung pinag-usapan natin doon sa part ng cell. Right? Para makapasok sila doon sa plasma membrane, there's a need of the process of osmosis and diffusion. And we know that diffusion is the one producing or carrying the nutrients such as gases, liquids, no, in the cell. And we have the osmosis, the process of osmosis, no, yung mga malalaking mga molecules. Okay? So next is we tackled also about the tissues, no? What are the four main tissues in the body of the animals? What are the four main tissues or major tissues of the animal body? Okay, Jason.
Nervous, muscle, skeletal, and epithelial.
Correct. It's epithelial tissues, connective tissues, epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscle, or sorry, we have
Skeletal.
epithelial tissues, we have connective tissues, and we have muscle tissues, and
Nervous
lastly we
tissue.
have nervous
Nervous
tissues. Kasi
tissues.
skeletal is
Hindi
part
pala ako.
already of
Ah,
muscles.
yes, sir.
Okay? So, yun. That's the four major types of tissues. So, we have the epithelial, the muscle tissues, the connective tissues, and the nervous tissues or the nerve tissues. Okay? So, that is that's what we have discussed last night. Okay? So let's proceed to our discussion tonight. Our discussion tonight is also be interesting din siya. So it will be the integumentary system and the integumentary system and also the skeleton system. So let's have first the integumentary system. Let me share to you my screen. So, to have the access of the files, go to your Google Drive that I have sent to you. Di ba sa Google Drive ko yung sinend sa inyo, yung andun na lahat. And then check doon, tapos you can access there. There is may mga title yon just we have in the integumentary system there. So you download that integumentary system and the skeleton. So if magkaroon ng lag dito sa screen ko, sa slides ko, meron kayong copy. Okay? Okay, our discussion for tonight is the integumentary system. Okay, when you talk about integumentary system, what comes in your mind? No? Pag sinabing integumentary system, 'di ba? Parang it's parang ano man siya, sir? Parang bago siya sa pandinig ko, no? Parang gano'n, no? Parang bago siya sa pandinig. Um Hindi ko pala encounter yan, yung ganon. So if you are innocent and you don't know what is a integumentary system, so parang nag-ignorante ka na din at the same time. So yung palang again, integumentary system, it talks about the process or the parts of the skin. No, it talks about how the skin process, how the skin manipulate thermoregulation in our body. No, paano siya nagkakaroon ng, paano siya, ano yung functions ng skin sa ating katawan. Okay? So that is the integumentary system. Okay? So, yun. So, pag, siyempre, pag ano ninyo, pag na, ato yan, pag narinig nyo the integumentary system, wala pa kayong idea, and now, kasi malayo kasi yung word na integumentary doon sa skin, right? So, malayo. Even if you say like, dermis or epidermis, so malayo pa rin yun sa word na integumentary. So, the integumentary, that is the system or the defined as skin. Okay? Next. So these are the part of the skin, and what is the definition of skin? The skin is one of the largest organs. No? The largest, pag sinabi mong largest, pinakamalawak or pinakamalaki na part, no? Yes, pinakamahaba, pinaka ano. So that is skin, okay? So that is skin, which is the largest organ of the body. No, it consists of 6 to 8% of the total body weight. Example, if your weight is 65, no, 65 kilogram, so 6 to 8% of that is composed of your skin. Okay, it is composed of your skin. So it consists of two distinct layers, two important distinct layer, which is the top layer is called epidermis, yung outside part yan. And we have also the second part here, the second part of or layer of the skin, which is the dermis. Okay, we have epidermis and dermis. Okay, so in epidermis, as you can see here in the parts of the skin, no, there is an hair there. Yeah, may hair, may sebaceous gland. Okay, so I want you to familiarize kung saan sila located. Saan sila naka-position. Okay, and then I am going to define one by one. Okay? So we have sebaceous gland, we have sensory nerve ending. Okay, this is the sensory nerve ending. And we have here this is the sebaceous gland. And we have here also the sweat gland. Here, sweat gland. And we have here the capillaries. Ang liit, pero kailangan makita talaga siya. We have capillaries there, and we have the fat collagen, or known as subcutaneous tissues or adipose tissues. Okay? They also known as adipose tissues. Okay? Kung saan nasa storage si fats, si collagen, at saka si fibroblast. And then we have also the arteriole, or sometimes there is what we call a lymphatic vessels inside of it, or kasama nila. And then we have the nerve. Okay, so what are the two parts of the skin? Actually, three parts yan, but the main parts is only two, epidermis and dermis. And then sa baba naman, if we included siya, so there is what we call subcutaneous tissue, or it is content of a adipose tissues, or yung mga fats, collagen, and fibroblast. Okay, let me explain one by one. What do you mean by... Okay. So, ano ba ibig sabihin, sir, ng ano? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng... ano ba yung function ng hair? Okay? Ano ba yung function ng hair? So, yeah, can someone give me an idea what is the function of the hair? Sige nga. What do you think is the function of the hair? Can someone answer my question? Wala? Ikaw na lang, sir. Okay. So, the function of the hair is
Pero,
to...
sir,
Sige,
Protector
ikaw.
of the skin, sir.
Ano sabi mo, Jason? protection
Ano sabi ng sir,
of
ang ang function ko is marami sir eh. Ano, regulation siya ng ano sir, ng body temperature. Hello sir.
and
Secretion siya ng oils.
okay. Hair. Nag-usapan natin yung hair.
Yes sir, yun nga po. Hair,
Then,
function ng hair.
okay. The main function of the hair is to, yan, tama yan si ma'am. Tinatabi niyang preserving the heat. Yan, tama. Pine-preserve niya yung heat. When there is a cold season, no, it is the hair that preserving the heat inside of the skin. And at the same time, siya yung nagko-control. Ang gawain talaga ng hair is to prevent the diseases to yun, napuan sa skin mo talaga. So the hair is, let's say, the first gate of all bago makapasok yung mga diseases or bago makadapo yung diseases sa skin. Okay? It is a protection of the skin, no? Yes, that's correct. That is the protection of the skin, which is the hair. That's the purpose of the hair. And also, protect from dust to skin. Tama. It also protects the dust. So, para hindi agad mapunta yung dust doon sa skin, so it protects it is the hair that protecting the dust, no? The skin, sorry, from the dust, no? And also, one of the reasons also of the hair, kasi, ano yan tumatayo, no? Nagkakaroon ng hair retractor, tumatayo siya and then natutumba. Pag tumatayo, it means that there is something wrong or there is something that bothering your nerves para tumayo yung mga hair mo. Okay? That's what we call, that's what the functions of the hair. Okay, what is now sebaceous gland? No? The purpose of the sebaceous gland is for oil secretion. Okay, ito yung, di ba pag ginawakan natin yung hair natin, di ba, sometimes you feel like there's an oil doon sa sa hair. So that is the work of the sebaceous gland, no? Yung nagkakaroon ng oil doon sa iyong hair. So the work of the sebaceous gland, no, para at least pagtayo at saka pagbaba din ng hair is hindi siya, kumbaga, hindi siya rough, no? Smooth pa rin siya. So that's the work of sebaceous gland, no? For oil, for lubrication. For lubrication and to produce an oil. Okay? And we have also the word sensory nerve ending. When you talk about sensory nerve ending, pag sinabi doon, yan yung pinakauna-unahan na makakaramdam. Siya yung pinakauna-una na makakaramdam ng sakit. Sige, if you pinch or you hit your skin, no, it is the sensory nerve ending who will feel first ang sakit na iniwan ka. Ganon. Yun ang sensory nerve ending. Okay? Yung pag na-feel mo na masakit talaga na kasi maiba siya, yun. That's because of your sensory nerve ending. Okay? So now it passes through your nerves sa katawan mo. And there are two types of nerves. No, actually, three yan sila eh. And the main lang only we have autonomic and sensory. Right? So, we focus only into sensory nerve ending because sensory nerve ending is focusing on the five senses that we have. No? Sense of smell, sense of touch, sense of sight, no? And sense of, ano pa ba? Sense of, kalimutan ko na. Sense of touch, sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of, sight, and then sense of, pakikinig. Ano to yan? Sense of hearing. Oh, listening. Yeah. Sense of hearing. Okay? So that are the five senses in our body. No? And also, yes. So and also, we have what we call arteriole. What is arteriole? What is arteriole? Arteriole is arteriole is the smallest artery of the blood vessels, no? Meron tayong artery, meron din tayong tinatawag na arteriole. Okay? Si artery yung pinaka-smallest, ha? Because ang pinaka-smallest talaga na blood vessels is capillaries. Okay? So parang arteries, then arteriole, and then capillaries. Okay? So, after kay arterioles, pupunta siya doon kay capillaries. And si capillaries is the one, so going to the capillaries is the one giving or distributing and absorbing the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in your body. So yun, in your skin, no, it is the capillaries. As you can see there is a blue and red, no. The purpose of that blue is to absorb the oxygenated blood, no? Ina-absorb niya yung deoxygenated blood, yung mga carbons, yung mga toxicity sa katawan mo, sa skin mo, yun ang trabaho ng kulay blue na capillaries na yan. Yung kulay red naman, nakikita niyo yung capillaries, ang trabaho niya is to provide oxygenated blood or also known as oxyhemoglobin. No, it is a blood that contain a oxygen that will give you hemoglobin. Okay? So that also providing nutrients for your skin para at least uh, hindi magkaroon ng diseases, no, hindi kaya nga minsan 'di ba if you have diabetic, no, as far as you can observe, pag diabetic, pag nasugatan, mahirapan agad mag-heal ang yung ang tawag dyan, ang skin, no, because it is rich of sugar. If your skin is rich in sugar, or your body or your blood is rich in sugar, no, there is a tendency that the blood clotting in your body is lower. So mahirapan magkaroon ng proseso, no, which is the mitosis. Mahirapan agad na mag-heal agad yung wound, no, because of the sugar or the sweatiness in your sweat doon sa yung katawan at the same time and also the fats, no, na meron ka, because our skin is also tawag dyan, composed of adipose tissues or subcutaneous tissues, which is found the fat, collagen, and fibroblast, no. So the work of fat is to yun, bigla siyang makapal siya, no, hindi agad natatouch yung bones, no? Hindi agad natatouch yung bones. Kundi natatouch mo na ang trabaho ng fats is to cover the bones, no? From the dermis or other parts of the skin. Okay? So we all know that epidermis, so we have here the muscle. What is the work of the muscle tractor? The work of muscle tractor, nagko-close ba yung slides diyan sa inyo? Parang nagkakaroon ng close open, parang ganun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Try ko ulit ha. Baka sa ano yan eh. Ayan. So yan, that's the work of let's proceed now. Let's continue. The work of the muscle is to retractor muscle is yung patayo, tapos pababa naman. Kasi pag nasa-sense yun ngayon ni kasi si sensory nerve organ or nerves, no, siya yung nagbibigay ng message doon sa retractor muscle. Kung ano yung gagawin ni retractor muscle. Si skin muscle, anong gagawin niya? O si hair muscle, sorry. So hair retractor muscle, kung anong gagawin niya. So pag nafe-feel niya there is something wrong, so tatayo yan si hair by si muscle siya yung hihila dun kay hair para tumayo. Okay? So we have also sweat glands, no? The work of the sweat glands, no, the functions of the sweat glands is to provide sweat, no? Example, pag mainit ang panahon, 'di ba? Pag mainit ang panahon, anong nangyayari sa katawan natin? 'Di ba? Napapawis tayo, napapawisan tayo. So it means that there is a higher of producing of sweat glands, no? Or sweat glands in the skin. Okay? So nangyayari ngayon is yung iyong skin, yung sweat glands mo ngayon is parang nagko-compact siya. Yan, nagko-compact yung sweat glands mo para mapiga, no, mapiga yung liquid na meron doon sa sweat glands mo, and then lalabas yun na pawis. Okay, pag mainit ganun nangyayari, parang nagko-close siya. Okay? Pero pag pag malamig, no, nagsispread yan si sweat glands pag malamig. Okay? Nagsispread si sweat glands. Ganon din yan sa blood natin, no? Nangyayari sa blood vessel natin. If mainit ang panahon, yung blood, yung ating ugat is nag um tawag dyan, nagko-com ayun to, nagko-compress. Pero pag malamig is nag-spread yan sila. Okay? So that is what we call sweat glands. The purpose of sweat glands. Okay? So next is, okay, so these are the skin structures made of keratin. Always remember that keratin it is an hormone, no? Produced in our body, okay, to protect our skin from the diseases. So yung keratin, yung mga nails natin, yung kuko natin, yung claws ng ayop, yung nails, and then yung hooves ng kabayo, no? Ito yung claws ng aso. Okay, yan. So this example of carnivore claws, meron din yung sa pusa. Okay? Carnivorous claws. So we have the bone here and this is the claw. Yung kanyang nails, no? Kung sa atin tawag sa atin is nails, sa kanila yan that is claws. Okay? Sa hayop. So next is we have, yan, this is a hooves. Okay? A hooves in the horse. Okay, that's why, so yan, so we have side view and the bottom view. And this is the hoof, which is made of, the one that made of keratin, no? Ang hoof is the one that made of keratin. And this is the toe or yung knee ng toe of the horse. And we have here the horseshoe or the hoof wall. Yan yung horseshoe. Yan nga pinsa pag yung try mo kaya magpasipa, no, magpasipa sa tawag diyan sa kabayo. Di ba masakit? That is because of the horseshoe. No, para siyang metal na ganoon siya kasakit. And then we have here what we call the frog. Frog is the very sensitive part of the horse, no? Yan yung pinaka very sensitive part ng horse. Kaya nga pag may naapakan ng horse ng mga matutulis, no, that will give them a foot and mouth diseases or FMD, or pwede ding tawagin na tetano. Okay? So pwede ding tetano. Kaya nga pag nasugatan yan or nakaapak yan ng pako ang horse, no, mamamatay agad yan. Hindi yan naabutan ng ilang oras, mamamatay yan. Because this one here, the frog, is very sensitive part of the horse. Okay? The hoof or the frog. Okay? So yan ang dahilan kaya prone to tetano ang horses. Okay? So you have also horns and antlers. So magkaiba ang horns, magkaiba din ang antlers. Yung horns is yung parang yung sa goat, yun. Yung sa goat, yung sa simple lang. It's a narrow type of horns, yan. Ito bony sa loob, and then yan sa baka, sa carabao, ganun. So that is a horns, no? Yan, that is a horns. Yung antlers naman, that is example, we have the deer, yon. Yung kanilang sungay na may iba-ibang klaseng patterns, no? That's every pattern is called a velvet, no? Bawat patterns, no? Yung labas niyan, yung outer part na yung exposed yung outer part ng antlers, yung exposed part niyan, no? Kaya nga nilalagay natin, di ba, pag nakapatay yung deers din sa unang panahon, yung mga ngaso, pag nakamatay sila ng deer, yung sungay nilalagay nila sa wall. Preserve nila, tapos nilalagay nila sa wall, pati yung ulo, yung bungo. Kasi daw, that means na matapang sila. Okay? Kaya nilang makipagbaka or kaya silang yung tinatawag na strong mga ngaso. No? Matapang na mga ngaso. So, yun. So, sa outer part nun, di ba, kaya nga, kumikinang yung kanilang sungay, because of the keratinized layer, because of the keratin, diba? Kahit nga sa karabaw, diba, paghawakan natin yung kanilang part, diba, kumikinang talaga yung kanilang outer part ng kanilang horn. So that is made of keratinized layer. And we have hair shaft, epidermis, yan, as I said. So there, hair, the part of the main which is the roots, the main part of the hair roots, the hair follicle, the hair erector muscles, And we have the sebaceous glands can be found in the vermis. Okay, the purpose of the hair root is to anchor, no, to anchor yung parang bagsak siya, yung parang sa barko, no, to anchor para maging solid siya, para pag hindi siya agad-agad natatanggal yung hair. So that's the work of hair roots. Okay? So we have feathers. Okay, there are actually types of feathers as you can see in the chicken. Di ba? We have downy feathers, we have contour feathers. This one is an example of contour feathers. Ano yung mga contour feathers? No, yung this one is the contour feathers. Okay, so we have here downy feathers, downy barbs, yung mga bagong bagong labas na mga feathers, and we have after feather, and lastly we have vein, and we have ranches here. So that's the parts of the feather. So if you're going to go deep inside talaga of the feather, so each of the ano talaga, bawat isa ng ano na feather na yan, that is bawat isang vein na yan, ang tawag diyan ay barb. No, ang bawat isang ganun ng pang malunggay ba, bawat ganito is barb. Pero ang tawag sa pinakamaliit talaga, that is barbule. Barbule. Okay? So this is an example of contour feathers. And then you have downy feathers. No, you have down feathers na nakikita natin usually sa mga chicks. Madami ito sa mga chicks. Kasi mga bagong feathers na, syempre, bago pa silang salta sa mundo, no? That's what we call the ano, sa downy feathers. Meron din yan sa part ng sa mga matatanda na mga matured na ano na chicken o na poultry. Meron yan yung sa puwit parte, sa puwit meron yan. Sa may puwit, merong mga downy feathers diyan. And this is what we call the pin feathers. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng pin feathers? Dito yung sinasabi na kinukuha. Ito yung usually nakikita ninyo doon sa hayop. 'Di ba? May makita kayong ganito sa hayop. Sinasabi agad nila pag ganito daw ang hayop, ibig sabihin malnutrition daw yung hayop. Malnutrition, kulang sa vitamina. Tama naman yun. No, tama naman, pero ang meat nun ay hindi affected. Only the feathers alone. Okay, the plumage, no? So, hindi niya mape-preserve yung kanyang breed and variety. Okay? So, the works of that pin feathers, yung sinasabi natin yung gamit ni Jose Rizal na type of feathers, no? Ang gamit ni Jose Rizal na type ng feathers is yung pin feathers. Yung kinukuha natin tapos inaano natin sa no? Sa tenga natin para kunin yung para kuha ng tutuli. And also, pag sabi mo naman pin, pwede naman siyang ipasok ulit doon sa loob because it has a tube or butas-butas na pwedeng ipasok sa loob. But hindi naman ginagawa yan usually ng tao pag nakuha nila or nahila nila doon sa hayop, sa poultry. Okay? So that is pin feathers. Ito yung ginamit na type of feather ginamit ng Jose Rizal sa pagsulat. So let's proceed now to the skin glands. No, pag skin glands, so there are a lot of parts in the skin glands, no? So we have glands with ducts are called exocrine glands, no? Yung glands na may ducts, ano ibig sabihin ng ducts? Daanan, daanan or may sarili siyang storage, ganon. May sarili siyang daanan or may sarili siyang storage. That is what we call exocrine glands. Okay? So, and include the glands found in the skin, no? It found in the skin as well as the glands that produce digestive enzymes. Now, yung mga digestive enzymes, so we have glands that produce digestive enzymes. We have gastric juices. No, we have hydrochloride, which is producing chyme. Okay? In the gut. So, there's a lot of things that you need to know in the digestive systems. So, endocrine glands ang tawag sa glands that have no ducts, no? Ibig sabihin they don't have ducts, but it is produced by a gland called pituitary and adrenal glands, no? Wala silang ducts, wala silang sariling daanan, pero dumadaan lang sila sa bloodstream. Directly dumadaan sila doon sa bloodstream kasama ang dugo. Kasama ang mga dugo, mga nutrients, no, plasma, doon sila dumadaan. Yung tinatawag nating hormones that doesn't have ducts. Okay? Okay, so we have also here wax-producing glands. Ano ibig sabihin ng wax-producing glands? Yung sa ears natin, so yung earwax, no? Yung sa ears natin, there is a glands also that producing earwax, yung dumi sa ating tenga. And we have sebaceous glands. No? Sebaceous glands secretes an oily secretion into the hair follicle. This secretion known as sebum. Anong tawag sa oil na yon? Yung sinasabi na for lubrication, that is sebum. Okay, that is sebum. It keeps the hair supple and helps prevent the growth of bacteria. So that's the work of sebum, or the oil, or the one that's giving lubrication doon sa hair, or that is produced by sebaceous gland. Okay? So, yun. Ang trabaho niya is to prevent the growth of the bacteria. And we have sweat glands. Okay? Sweat glands naman is consists of a coiled tube. No, that is the sweat glands. And a duct leading onto the skin surface. No, that is sweat glands. So, what I have said, it is the one that giving coiled tube, or yung, nagbibigay siya ng pawis dun sa iyong skin. Okay? And we have mammary glands are only present in mammals. So we all know, now we tackled this yesterday or last night about the true mammals. A true mammals defined as that has a placenta or mammary glands. No, so we have mammary glands. Mammary glands is also the one producing milk. No, that milk duct. Yan. So next, the dermis. Okay, so what is dermis? No, the dermis is the second part of the uh, skin. No, it is composed of loose connective tissues. Pag sinabi mong loose connective tissues, pinag-usapan na natin. Ibig sabihin, they are not intact, no? Ibig sabihin, hindi siya intact type na tissue. So, hindi siya compacted. Diba, loose lang siya. This one is dermis, right? Yung ganyan, loose lang siya. So, anytime pag nasugatan yan, mabubukas agad yan. Parang ganon. So, anytime pag nasugatan yan, bukas agad yan lahat. No? Because it is connective tissues. So, with a felt mass of collagen and elastic fibers. So, it is the collagen and the elastic fibers who are maintaining the compaction of the connective tissues in the dermis. Okay? In the dermis part. Okay? This is an example of the dermis. And we have the skin and temperature regulation. So we have amphibia. Yung mga amphibia, we have frogs and reptiles are said to be cold-blooded. Ano ibig sabihin ng cold-blooded? They are being poikilothermic, no? Ano ibig sabihin ng cold-blooded? Sige nga, what do you mean by cold-blooded? Can someone answer my question? What do you mean by cold-blooded or poikilothermic? What do you mean by cold-blooded, Stephanie?
Wala ko balo, sir.
Agoy. Eric, do you have any idea of cold-blooded animal? What is cold-blooded animal? Yes, Jason. What do you mean by cold-blooded animal?
Cold-blooded animals, sir, yun yung mga mga organism na kung saan na-adapt nila yung temperature ng environment as the environment changes.
Yes, correct. Example, if malamig ang environment, no? Ang nangyayari is malamig din yung napoprocess nila. Yung mga na-adapt nila, kung ano yung nasa labas, ganun din na-adapt nila sa loob ng katawan nila. No? Pag lalabas sila, pag malamig, malamig din sila. No? Pag mainit, mainit din sila. And that is what we call cold-blooded animals. Example, we have amphibians, reptiles, no? Or they are also known as poikilothermic. So, and we have also birds, no, and mammals, no, are said to be warm-blooded. No, what do you mean by warm-blooded? Okay, or homoiothermic.
Avoid overcharging. Never leave the battery charging for extended periods of time. And always unplug it
Sorry.
when it's full
What do you
charge.
mean by homeothermic? Okay, when you talk about homeothermic or warm-blooded, ito yung type ng hayop or homeothermic, yung Example, pag malamig ang panahon, yung katawan is nagbibigay ng init or nagpo-process ng mainit na temperature sa loob ng katawan. So pag mainit naman ang panahon, yung katawan mo is nagpo-produce ng malamig na katawan. So you have bear, polar bear, you have mammals. We have deers, we have owls, we have poultries, no? We have kanding. Yan. So that also known as warm-blooded. Human are warm-blooded. Okay? Kasi pag malamig ang panahon, we are producing heat on our own. And then we have also, pag mainit naman ang panahon, so we are also producing malamig sa katawan natin. Okay? So this is what we call the reduction. Kaya sabi ko kanina, the skin and temperature regulation. So yung pinaka-importante, so we have the sweat glands here, okay? And we have the capillaries in skin contracted. So this is what we call the blood vessels, no? Reduction of heat loss by skin. Ano yung reduction of heat loss by skin? Pag malamig ang panahon, no? Pag malamig ang panahon, walang mainit, no? Walang mainit na temperature, no? Nagkakaroon ng anong nangyayari sa capillaries? It is contracted, no? The capillaries in the skin is contracted. Okay? Pag ano naman, contracted, ibig sabihin they are compacted. Okay? Pag increase of heat loss, pag mainit ang panahon, no? The capillaries of the skin, no, yung ating blood vessels sa ating katawan or sa ating skin is expanded. Ibig sabihin nag-expand siya. Yung ating ugat. Okay? Pero yung sweat natin, yung sweat gland ay nagpo-produce ng drops of sweat or pawis sa skin surfaces natin sa epidermis. Always remember that epidermis is composed of a dead cell, no? It is composed of a dead cell. Kaya nga 'di ba minsan pag hindi tayo nag-lotion, mararamdaman natin na there is a dead skin na namumuti yung ating skin because our epidermis is composed of dead cell. Kaya dapat mag-lotion o dapat na-maintain yung kanyang oily or liquid sa kanyang sa skin po ninyo. So let's have a summary sa skin. So skin consists of two layers. We have epidermis and under it is the thicker dermis. So makapal is ang dermis. So the epidermis is formed by the division of base cells, yan, that push those above them towards the surface where die and are shed. And also, epidermis is also known as a dead cell. We have keratin. It is an hormone, a protein, hormone or a protein that is deposited in the epidermal cells. Okay? It makes skin waterproof. Yan yung purpose talaga ng keratin, to have this skin waterproof. Example, pag merong mga, ang tawag dyan, pag maligo ka, yun. So, that's the work of keratin. It is for waterproof. Okay? Yung mga alligator, they are rich in keratin. Yan. Yun. We have various skin structures formed in the epidermis are made of keratin. So, this includes the claws, nails, hooves, horn, hairs, and feathers. And we have various exocrine glands, no? With ducts, no? Pag sabi mong with ducts, ibig sabihin may daanan, may sariling storage. Form in the epidermis include sweat, sebaceous, and mammary glands. So, yan. And we have melanin. A melanin is a hormone also, or a protein also that is a hormone that is deposited in the cells at the base of the epidermis that protects deeper cells from the harmful effects of the sun or UV rays, no? Ito yung nagpo-protect doon sa init ng panahon, no? Pag mainit ang panahon, here comes, no, kailangan mo talaga ng hormone melanin, no? Kailangan mo ng sunblock, no, para pag-protect against the UV rays or harmful effects of the sun. So you need melanin. Okay? We have dermis, no? Dermis is composed of loose connective tissues. So I have said it is a loose connective tissues, hindi naman siya compacted, and is well supplied with blood by capillaries. So beneath the dermis is insulating adipose tissue. Insulating adipose tissue because it composed of fat, collagen, and fibroblast. Okay? So we have also body temperature is controlled by sweat, hair erection, dilation, and contraction of dermal capillaries and shivering. What do you mean by shivering? Shivering yung pag malamig ang panahon, ginaganon mo yung katawan mo, ginaganyan, di ba? Di ba nakakapag-produce ka ng heat, di ba? Pag ganon. So, pag malamig, ginaganon mo yung katawan mo, so that is shivering. Okay? Dilation naman, it's yung like you are panting, like sobrang pagod, and then there is here comes your heart is beating faster, and then your skin is now producing sweat. Yon sa katawan. Okay? And also, pag malamig naman, pag mainit ang panahon, it is the one also producing coldness. It's a process. It's a, what do you call this? A movement na magbibigay siya ng coldness sa katawan. Okay, and you have dermal capillaries also. And, okay, let's have a quiz. Okay, let's have a quiz. Okay, I have questions. So, are you ready? Number 1, I will call Johnny. Yan, Sir Johnny. Hi, good evening, sir. My question
Yes, sir. Good
is,
evening.
the 2 layers that form the skin are the blank.
Dermis and epidermis, sir.
Very good. Palakpakan. Okay, next. Number 2, I will call the name of Rosalie Lumingkit. Ma'am Rosalie.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. So your question is, the special protein deposited in epidermal cells to make them waterproof.
Keratin, sir.
Very good. It is keratin. Perfect. Very good. Next, we have Eric De Leon. Sir Eric.
Sir.
Tulog na naman si Eric. Okay. Eric, my question to you, number 3. Many important skin structures are made of keratin. So what are those examples?
Skin, skin claw, nails, and poof.
Very good. So we have claws, we have nails, we have hooves, we have feathers, and hair. So that is, okay, horns, we have, yun. That's very good. Okay, next, number 4, let's have si Ma'am Jov. Yeah, let's have Jov. Ma'am Joveline.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hello, good evening, Ma'am
Good
Jov.
evening po.
Yeah, my question sa iyo is, sweat, sebaceous, and mammary glands all have ducts to the outside. This kind of glands are also known as,
Skin gland po.
anong tawag doon? It start with letter E.
Exocrine gland.
Very good. It is exocrine glands. Very good. Okay, thank you very much. Si Ma'am Myra, actually nag-enroll siya, pero hindi siya pumasok. Nasa ano daw siya ngayon? Cagayan Valley?
Opo, nasa Cagayan po.
Okay, so
Nasa
hindi ka
biyahe pa.
okay lang yun. Sabi ko sa kanya, ma'am, pag okay ka na, you can access the records. Tapos sabi niya pa, sir, hindi pa ako marunong magamit ng email ko. Paturo pa daw siya sa anak niya. Sige lang, I understand naman. Okay, thank you very much. Ma'am, pag may time, pag magkita kayo dalawa, turuan niyo po si Ma'am Myra ha, dun sa mga files, baka hindi niya alam.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. And then we have, next question is given to Jason. Ano tayo Jason? Iba na lang. Si Jason mas may ginagawa. Che. Ayan, si Ma'am Che. Just ano na lang ma'am, chat na lang kung yung sagot. Now your question is number 5. What is the pigment deposited in skin cells that protects underlying skin layers from the harmful effects of the sun or from UV rays? Anong tawag doon? Ma'am Che. Type mo na lang po, Ma'am Che. No, I mean, what is the pigment deposited in skin cells? Kanina yung pinag-usapan natin, yung nagpo-protect yun, kaya nga nilagyan natin ng lotion, di ba? Anong hormone yon? Kaya magpo-protect sa atin against the sun, the harmful effects of the sun, UV rays. Anong tawag doon? We have keratin and the other one is Starts with letter M. Ano kaya, Ma'am Che? That is? Yeah, correct. Ma'am Rosalie get the answer. So that is melanin. Okay? Ang tawag dun ay melanin. It is the one that protecting the skin from the harmful effects of the sun or UV rays. Next, we have number 6. How does the skin help cool an animal down when it's active or in a hot environment? So the answer din, meron kang sagot dyan. So we have panting and secretion from sweat glands. Nagpapanting, naghahabol ganyan. So ibig sabihin, no, pag napapagod, no, pag naku-cool down, you need to panting and there is lumalabas na sweats sa gland natin. Okay, name 2 mechanism by means of which skin helps prevent heat loss. O, ano yung mga mechanism doon? What are the mechanism that you can which the skin helps prevent heat loss? So, anong gawain? Diba, pinag-usapan natin, pag ginaganon tayo, tawag dito. Pag ganyan. That is?
Shivering.
Correct. Shivering. And the other one is?
Dilation.
Correct. Dilation. Very good. Yes. So that is the 2 mechanism by means which the skin helps prevent heat loss. Okay? So that is in our integumentary system. Okay? So let's proceed now to our next discussion since you already know about these things. So let's proceed now to our next discussion that is the skeleton. Doon tayo sa buto ngayon. Okay? Wait, sandali lang. Pag ko yung charger. Charger. Kita na ako. Bitin. Ayan, let's continue. Okay, did you get the slides now dun sa sa ating sa Google Drive? Meron doon the skeletal system. Yun. Okay, rest muna tayo saglit. Liha. Tama yung schedule of activities. Ayan. So I'm going to remind everyone about the schedule of activities, about our schedule of activities. Remind ko lang ulit sa inyo, ha? Para malaman ninyo. So this is our schedule of activities for animal science. Yan, ulit-ulitin ko yan. So we are done with the we are done with Monday. So it's a big X. Yan, may X dito. It means natapos na din sa wakas. Yan, it's a big X. And then this night, sorry. So yan, tapusin na din natin to. It's a big X. Then tomorrow will be your post test. That will be morning. Okay, check nyo to. This is your schedule talaga, ha? And then Thursday and Friday, you then have class. Thursday and Friday. And then by Saturday evening, we will have our class. So we still have part 2 and part 3 of animal anatomy and physiology because we have actually 6 systems na pag-uusapan. 11 pala, 11, sorry, 11 systems. So natapos naman natin yung skin, so 10 na lang. So sa part 2, 5 systems, tapos sa part 3 that will be another 5. Okay? Para sulit tayo. And then, pagka next week, pag-usapan natin by Monday is animal breeding and genetics. And then right after animal breeding and genetics, there will be a quiz. Okay? And then, in animal nutrition also, content ng animal nutrition, magkakaroon din tayo ng quiz right after animal nutrition. And we have slaughtering and processing of farm animals. Pag-uusapan din natin. And we have swine production, poultry production management, and we have small, large ruminants and production and management. Okay, so pag makahabol pa tayo, so we can have our post-test. Ibibigay ko sa inyo yung post-test after the small and large ruminants production and management. Ibibigay ko after nyan. So para pagka Sunday, we can proceed already to economics. Okay? Kuha niyo ako? Gets niyo ako?
Yes,
Okay. That will be our discussion. For animal science, na ba tayo? If you have friends and classmates, please invite them to enroll na kasi hindi na ako babalik dyan. Hindi na ako babalik. Pag once natapos na natin yan, magpuproceed na tayo sa ibang subjects. Alangan animal science lang tayo magpo-focus. Magpuproceed na tayo sa ibang subjects. Okay? So, siguro ano na lang, yung mga request niyo like yung person square method, magta-topic tayo noon. Pag may time na lang, i-insert lang natin sa economics pag may time. Computation lang naman yun eh. And then we have, and ipo-focus ko yun din yun sa final coaching. Actually, ipo-focus ko yun, kaya nga hinuli ko din siya at the same time. Eh, tsaka yung isa pa, yung, ano ba yun, nakalimutan ko na, horse production, nakalimutan ko pala, yung horse production management, yun, isasabay ko na rin yun sa final coaching. Pero pag may mga time pa tayo, may mga konting-konting time pa tayo sa economics, siguro mga Tuesday, kasi every Wednesday naman tayo may klase ng gabi, at tsaka Saturday, tsaka Sunday. So, yun. Pwede pa natin insert yun sa Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, or Friday. Depende na. Kasi kukunti lang naman yun yung presentation nila. And then, for economics, this will be your schedule for economics. Okay, so this will be your schedule for economics. Sa Sunday, pag-usapan na natin by April 15, pag-uusapan na natin yung introduction of agricultural economics and marketing. Yung scope, yung basic definition, basic of economics, pag-uusapan natin yan. And then, yun na, dapat present kayo ng introduction ha, kasi sa board exam kasi lumalabas halos introduction ng economics and marketing. Yung concept, yung basic concept, yun, lumalabas yun. Yung scarcity, yung needs, yung wants, yung choices, yan, pag-uusapan natin yan sa economics. Magugustuhan yung economics because that's my mastery. So yan, pag-uusapan natin kasi maayos talaga yung pagkakadeliver ko niyan. And as my slides also are friendly reader, yung aking slides. Kasi basahin nyo lang yun, maintindihan nyo na. And there are a lot of, diagrams and drawings. Ang gagawin ninyo is to have, if you can buy a graphing paper, yun, kung ayaw nyo mag-drawing ng ganon, if you want to buy a graphing paper, you can buy, you can use the graphing paper because there's a lot of drawings that we are going to do in microeconomics. Okay? In microeconomics, marami din tayong pag-uusapan. Yung mga short run, the law of demand and supply, the law of diminishing returns, yung hindi nyo maintindihan sa teacher nyo, ay maintindihan nyo na sa akin. Yun. Yun. Kasi hindi naman pwede hindi nyo maintindihan. Okay, so we have microeconomics part 1 and microeconomics part 2 because the microeconomics covered a lot of topics kasi yung utility, pag-uusapan yung utility, pag-uusapan yung stages ng production, pag-boom, tapos pagbagsak ng kumpanya, ganun. Pag-usapan yun. And then pag-usapan din yung yun. That's microeconomics part 1 and part 2. And then pagka Sunday naman, no, but before we proceed to macroeconomics, after each discussion on economics, there will be a post-test of 100 items. Tapos in the morning ko nakukunin yung inyong mga answers. Okay? Kasi mas maganda kasi pag fresh pa and then nagkakaroon tayo ng mga post-test, each topics. Okay? Yun na lang ang gagawin ko. Okay, para at least presko yun sa isipan pa ninyo. And then, pagka Sunday naman, kaya nilagay ko siya XXX, supposed to be dyan pinalagay yung macroeconomics part 1. Okay? So, yung macroeconomics part 1, actually, mahaba din siya. So, we have part 1 and part 2 yung theory of production, theory of cost. Ayan, pag-uusapan din natin sa macroeconomics. GNP, GDP, or the global situation, economic situation of the Philippines. Pag-uusapan din natin yan. Magugustuhan niyo yung macroeconomics in my class. Even my previous class, they love it. That's why they get a high score and they have high score in economics. They thought mahirap ang economics sa board exam, and then yung pagpasok nila doon sa sa exam, yung pag-take nila ng exam, gustong-gusto nila ng economics. Sabi nila parang hila doon sa kinabukasan nila yung ganang economics after they are being downed by animal science, kasi yung animals na nakakasira ng kinabukasan talaga yan. Yeah, kaya nga inuna ko yung animal science. And we have international economics and agricultural related laws. Medyo mahaba ang pag-uusapan nating topics na to sa international economics and agricultural related laws. Pag-usapan natin yung international marketing, no? Papasok natin international marketing and marketing management. We have financial marketing and we have the marketing management. Pag-uusapan natin yan. We will talk about that. Okay? And pag-uusapan din natin yung agricultural marketing and cooperatives. Sa board exam namin nung time natin, there's a lot of cooperatives. Kaya pag-uusapan natin yung mga cooperatives talaga sa board exam. Meron tayong mga tinatawag natin sa agriculture marketing, yung mga wholesaler, retailer, yan. Pag-uusapan natin yan. Kasi sa animal science, we have biyaheros. Pero ay sa economics, iba yung term ng biyaheros. Okay, walang biyaheros sa economics. Okay? So we have retailers, wholesalers, yung mga tawag sa kanila, we have nakalimutan ko sa term. Basta yun, pag-usapan na natin, ko na may tandaan, nasa dulo ng aking dila. Yun, pag-usapan natin yan. We will talk that. And I will give you an idea on how to understand easily the economics. Kasi mahirap yan sa inyo. Like, especially if hindi nyo major ang economics, mahirap yan intindihin. So, pag-uusapan natin yan, paano, tuturuan ko kayo kung paano siya intindihin. Kasi even my student before, sir, ang hirap talaga intindihin ng economics. Even the introduction pa lang, pagpasok mo lang, sir, mahirap talaga siya. That's why sabi ko, okay, I will give you an idea of how I did this, of how I understand economics since the very beginning of my class before when I was in college, my economics 101. So yun, actually, nahirapan ako nung first introduction pa lang. So what I did is that, I think of something, yun. Yung pag-uusapan natin yun, I will give first tips and techniques on how to study the economics. Okay? So, yun. Pag-uusapan din natin yan. Okay? Are you excited to have our economics? Marami tayong drawings, so tayo ng computations. Ayan. Pero usually naman lumalabas na computations, pero may mga drawings, pero ilan lang. Mga 2, 3, yun lang. And then, pag-uusapan din natin yung ibang mga determinants. Ayan. Are you excited to have our economics? I'm excited, sir, kasi meron pa tayong ibang sa animal science. Are you excited, class? Who are excited there? Raise your hand.
Excited, sir, kay loading kay ko sa
Excited na.
economics.
Excited na hindi.
Excited ko sa economics, sir, kay loading kay ko na sa juday.
Very good. Alam mo yung mga taong yung parang they are being prank sa sarili, like, sir, hindi ko talaga alam yan. Mas maganda yun. Yung gusto ko kasi malaman kung saan ka nahihirapan talaga. Saan bandang nahihirapan para doon natin diinan. No, doon natin pagbigyang pansin, yun. So, yung kasi ginawa namin last year. So, gusto ko malaman kung saan kayo nahihirapan. Tapos sabi na, sir, pwede i-topic mo ito. So, kaya kahit nag-econ kami, nag-topic agad kami ng ibang subject. Like, sabi niya, sir, gusto namin malaman yung principles ng extension. Pwede ka ba mag-extension, sir? Oh, sure. Mag-extension tayo next meeting. Ganon. So, open ako sa everyone. Open ako for everyone. But this one is regular review to, ha? Wag muna tayo mag-request ng ganon. That can be requested only pag ultimate final coaching. Kasi, pwede na tayo mag-pag-usapan general term. Okay? Kaya mo pala sa mag-handle ng 6 subjects. Oo, kaya nga hindi na lang ako kumuha ng instructor Kasi kaya ko naman. Kaya ko naman so, yun. So, let's proceed now to skeleton. Okay? siguro mabibigatan yung utak mo dito sa skeleton kasi madaming mga terminologies na kailangan alamin. So this is your schedule. So from April 23 to 30, and then you have macro economics part 1 and part 2, and this one that will give you a long time. Baka abot tayo ng alas 12 niyan or alauna. Ko alam pa lang. Pero hopefully, actually, hindi naman siya masyadong lumalabas sa exam, pero may lumalabas like mga 10 items, ganun. Ito talagang pinakamaraming lumalabas, 50% lumalabas dito talaga. Agricultural marketing and cooperatives. Okay? So ayan, so that is our economics. And then you have post-test part 1. So we will have a post-test, okay? Part 1 and part 2. Okay, so that will be your post-test part 1, that will be 200 items. And then post-test part 2, that will be another 200 items. Okay? So yun. No, grabe si sir. Parang hindi na kami ano niya. Uy, guys, seryosohin na natin to, ha? Seryosohin na natin to. Let's make it on top. Okay? Let's make it top. Okay? Ayoko yung hanggang passing score lang tayo. Dapat yung ano nating stop. Let's go to top. Ganon. So, yan. Kaya nga si sir, puro exam puro pa exam si sir para masanay kayo. Okay? Break it down. So, dapat ganyan yung mga instinct natin. Kasi maganda kasi pag nasa instinct natin, I want to top the exam. Kasi ikaw sa sarili mo, mag-effort ka. Gagawa ka ng paraan na makapag-study kasi you want to top the exam. Okay? So, that's what we are going to do. Okay? Yan yung dapat nating nasa isipan natin para hindi tayo chill-chill lang agad. Yung may mga time na chill tayo, may time na hindi. Okay? So let's proceed now. So alam na lang, puro chika na lang si sir. Ayan. Sorry, mahilig talaga ako mag-chika. Yan na, anong oras na nga minsan ako natatapos eh. Ayan. So let's proceed now to skeleton. Hinday, kasi ko. Ano mga bilat-bilat ya? Normal lang na magkis-kiss, ma. Normal lang na. Okay, sandali may palobat na aking chefe.
Nag-busy kayo si Mami, busy kayo kayo sa mga lalim, sige dyan sa age, kung doon kayo gawin niya.
Okay, let's continue our class. Sorry. So, ayan. Kahit saan talaga may marites talaga kahit saan. Okay, so our discussion is the skeleton. Parang nakakaroon na naman ng ano. Sorry. Ngayon lang to nangyari. Ano siguro to sa dahil may background ako. Okay, so yan. Our topic tonight, this moment we have the skeletal systems. Pag sinabi mong skeletal system, it talks about the bones, no? Skeleton. Pag-usapan ang bones, pag-usapan yung sa Bisaya pa bukog. Yan. Oh, yan. Buto sa Tagalog. Ayan, so ano ba yung pinagkaiba ng structure? When you talk about skeletal or bones, that it talks about the structure of the mammals or the animals. The structure of the animals, no? Ano yung pinagkaiba ng structure ng tao at animals, no? Actually, yung organs, yung physiology ng tao ay magkaparehas lang siya actually doon sa hayop. Magkaiba lang talaga when it comes to the structure or to the anatomy of the hayop. Kasi ang tao wala namang apat na paa, no? So only hayop lang meron. So yun. So that's what we call difference nila, no, sa anatomy. Okay? So this is an example of mammalian skeleton. So let's familiarize first the parts. No, we have the skull here. This is the skull. We have the vertebral column. We have the ribs here. We have the floating ribs here. And this we have for a soldier or girdle or scapula. And we have the humerus. We have the radius ulna. And then we have here the sternum. Okay, this one, sternum. And we have here the pelvic girdle. We have the femur. And we have the tibia and fibula. And yan, that's the sternum. Okay, so this is just, minimal parts of the mammalian skeleton. So just for you to have or to familiarize where it is located. Okay, saan ba yan sila located? Kasi importante talaga sa pag-study ng animal science is yung alam mo kung saan sila located. Okay? So next is you have the vertebral column. So let's study first the vertebral column. Pag sinabi mong vertebral, ibig sabihin may buto, may backbone. So that is vertebral. Pag sinabi mong vertebra, invertebra, I-N, na may I-N sa dito, so ang tawag po niyan ay walang buto. Okay, walang bukog, walang bones. Okay? Column consists of a series of bones called vertebra. So ang tawag sa vertebral column ay consists of the series of bones such as what we call vertebra. Okay, saan nakikita yan? Sa spine. Sa backbone. Sa backbones. Sorry, spine cord na. We have sa backbones. Yan nakikita si vertebra. Link together, so pinagsama-sama para maging isa to form a flexible column with the skull at one end and the tail of the other. So we have here the skull and we have here the tail, right? So this is the vertebra column. And so each vertebra consists of a ring of bone. No, it is consists of a ring of bone. So this is the sample of the vertebra, which is consists of ring of bone. Okay, with spines, we have spinous process. Okay, we have protruring dorsally from it. So the spinal cord passes. Okay, si spinal cord, iba po yung si spinal cord ha. Usually pag tinatanong yung mga bata, no? What do you call this part? Sinasabi agad na spinal cord. No. The spinal cord, it is where passes through the hole in the middle of the backbone, okay, of the vertebra. So dito yung tinatawag nating canal for spinal cord. Ito yung canal for spinal cord. Ibig sabihin, dito dumadaan si spinal cord. The spinal cord, it consists of blood vessels, it consists of nerves, no? It consists of yes, a million of nerves, no? Para yun, mag-contact siya, mag-communicate siya doon sa brain, sa head. Okay? So, passes through the hole in the middle and muscles attach the spines making movement of the body possible. That is why ang tao pag di ba pag sinabi ng doktor na the backbones are broken but the spinal cords are intact. So it means that there's no problem in the spinal cord, meaning the people though it cannot be moved, no, hindi siya makamove pag naka-survive siya, hindi siya makamove, nasa wheelchair lang siya, no, he or she cannot move his backbone. So ang mangyayari ngayon is still nakakarinig siya, nakakapagsalita pa siya, no, nakakapag-ano pa siya. So because the spinal cord is intact. However, pag sinabi ng doktor na the backbone is interlocated, ibig sabihin nawala na sa kanyang proper location, no, nasira na, nag-broken na ang kanyang backbone kasama yung kanyang spinal cord. It means that it's 100% na mamamatay na talaga siya. So it cannot be survived. So it will survive pero it will not last longer. Okay, so that's the the difference between spinal cord and the backbones. Now, yung mahawak natin sa likod natin, yung parang matulis, that is what we call the spinous process. What is the work of the spinous process? Every time that we flex our body, yan, pag nakayuko tayo, di ba hindi naman sa lahat ng panahon di ba pag nakayuko tayo, hindi agad-agad na-flex agad, like yuko talaga, over and over, no, hindi ganun. Kasi pag nagyuko tayo, masakit yung likod natin because of the spinous process. The work of the spinous process is to flex your body. No, and we have here the transverse process kasi yung the work of transverse process yung like sumasayaw tayo, gumigiling, ganyan. So that's the work of transverse process. Para yung backbone or vertebra, yung spinal cord is sumasabay doon sa beatings. And we have the body of vertebra. So here is the body of vertebra where the mga tissues, muscles is compacted or stored. Okay, so this one is the part of vertebra. So there are regions of the vertebral column. So this is very important. No, so here we have the shape and size of the vertebra of mammals vary from the neck to tails. Magkaiba from neck to tail. So in the neck, they are what we call cervical vertebra. Dito sa kanyang neck, ang tawag po dyan ay cervical vertebra. So from here, from the head, connected with the head, going down, no, that is, neck na yan, pag-usapan, that is what we call cervical vertebra. So with the two top ones, the atlas and axis being specialized, we have the atlas and axis being specialized to support the head and allow it to nod, yes, and to shake. Ano ibig sabihin yan? The atlas and axis is connected here in your head, di ba? Yes, di ba sa ulo natin, pag gumagano tayo sa ulo natin, right? Ayan, so we can shake our head. Okay, so because there is an atlas and axis. So si atlas, siya yung parang butas doon sa yung brain, and we have the axis na yung parang the cervical, connected in the cervical vertebra. Connected siya doon. So parang pag gumalaw yung ulo natin, ganoon lang siya. No? Para siyang bearing, no? It is to allow it to nod, yes, and to shake, no? Parang ganito. Kuha, ganyan siya. Ganyan yung mangyayari. So that is what we call atlas and axis. The first joints. Sila yung first joint na naka-attach. Joint yan sila, they are joints na naka-attach doon mismo sa cervical, connected with the head. Okay? So, yan. We have also next, thoracic vertebra. Thoracic vertebra in the chest region have specialized surfaces against which the ribs moves during breathing. So, here is the thoracic vertebra. So, what is the work of thoracic vertebra? Is to hold the ribs. Yan. Siya yung nag-hold sa ribs, no? Yung part ng ribs natin, no, kung saan hanggang part ng ribs natin, that is what we call thoracic vertebra, no? From connected with the cervical vertebra, no, going down to lumbar, that is what we call thoracic vertebra, where you can find the ribs, okay? Or saan connected sa ribs. Grazing animals like cows and giraffes that have the support with heads, kasi mabigat yung mga heads ng cows and giraffes, right? Di ba mahaba yung neck? Wala, yan. Tanong yan, sir, bakit? So yung ano po ba yung giraffe? Di ba mahaba yung neck nila? So mahaba din ba yung cervical vertebra? No. Actually, they have extra large spines, no, under cervical. So they have extra large spines that control, no, yung sa mga long necks, no, that control or the support the way heads, no, yung mabigat na heads nila, no, under cervical and thoracic vertebra for muscles to touch to. So yeah, that's what we call extra large spines. No, meron silang extra large spines doon sa kanilang thoracic, no, connected thoracic to cervical vertebra. Ang tawag diyan ay extra large spines. Okay? So connected yan sila para kayang ma-hold or kayang i-support yung pabigatan ng ulo. Okay, we have lumbar. Yan, we have lumbar here. Lumbar where the loin region. Ano ibig sabihin ng loin? Yun yung pinakamasarap na part ng karne. No? Walang buto, puro laman. Okay, so that is loin, where the loin region can be found or can be seen. We have are usually large, strong vertebra. They are large, strong vertebra. Kaya minsan, di ba, hawakan natin yan sa likod. Okay? Hawakan natin pa sa likod, sa baba. Yung malapit na talaga sa may puwit. That is what we call lumbar vertebra. No? Yung malalim. Okay, that is what we call lumbar vertebra. That is very strong. No, with the prominent spines for the attachment of the large muscles of the lower back. No, ang trabaho niya is to attach the large muscles. Kaya diyan tayo kinukuha natin yung tinatawag nating loin kasi yan yung pinakamalaking or pinakamakapal na muscle or pinakamakapal na laman. Okay? Yon. The sacral vertebra naman or sacrum, this is where you can find the word pelvic girdle. No, yung pelvic girdle, yan, are usually fused into one solid bone called sacrum that sits within the pelvic girdle. Yung pelvic girdle, hawakan mo yung puwit mo. 'Di ba? Meron kang mafi-feel na buto. Ayan. So that is what we call pelvic girdle, yung buto na yan sa puwit mo. So yung pelvic girdle mo yan is naka-attach yan doon sa sacrum mo. Okay? Kahit yung sa mga babae, yan, naka-attach yung kanilang bahay, yan, bahay bata doon sa part ng sacrum or sacral vertebra. And finally, there are a variable of vertebra which is known as coccygeal vertebra. Pinakamaliit, yan. So, ng mga bones. So, that can be found in the vertebral column. Okay? So now you already know what is the parts or the region of the vertebra. Okay? So that is what we call yan. So we have here the coccygeal vertebra, the small bones in the tail. The coccygeal vertebra. Okay? So next, let's proceed now to the skull. This is an example of a dog skull, no? As you can see, there is incisors here sa harapan, that is incisors. So we have here the canines, no? That is exclusively only for carnivorous type of mammals. Yan. And we have here premolars and molars, and then we have carnassial teeth. Carnassial teeth is for pag-grind ng mga meat, no? The use of grinding meat. Okay? So, the skull of mammals consists of 30 separate bones. No, there are 30 separate bones. So, there's a lot of bones. We have mandibles, yan. So, that grow together during development to form a solid case protecting the brain and senses organs. So, yun, that it will protect, no, the brain and the senses organs. So, the box enclosing and protecting the brain is called cranium. Saan yan located? Yung box enclosing. This one. This is what we call cranium. Okay, so this is the cranium, which is the one that protecting the brain. Okay, so that is like a box. Yan dyan. It's a box, oh. Okay, it's a box. You have here the bony wall of the cranium encloses the middle and inner ears, protects the organs of smell and nasal cavity, and the eyes in sockets known as orbits. Ang orbits naman, tinatawag natin na bilog. Ganyan. Yan. This one is what we call orbits. Yan. That is orbits. Dito sa nasal naman, yung sa bilog naman yan, that is orbits. Sa ears naman, you have here the orbits. Okay? So that is orbits. So bilog. The teeth are inserted into the upper lower jaw. Yan. So the teeth is inserted into upper and lower jaw. So the lower jaw is known as the mandible. Okay? Always remember that the lower jaw is also known as the mandible. Okay? The lower jaw. This is the lower jaw. It is known as mandible. Okay? So it forms a joint with the skull moved to by strong muscles that allow an animal to chew. Yan, chew ang animal. At the front of the skull is the nasal cavity. This one here is the nasal cavity, separated from the mouth by a plate of bone called the palate. Yan, di ba yung di ba? Sige, nganga ka, tapos hawakan mo yung sa loob ilagay mo sa loob yung kamay mo and then yung fingers mo. So yung fingers mo and then hawakan mo yung sa taas. Yan. Feel mo sa taas, that is what we call palate. Okay? That is what we call palate. That is separating the nasal cavity and the mouth. Okay? That is yung sa taas ng iyong bunganga, yan, that is what we call palate. It's parang plate siya, no? Forma niya parang ganito. Okay? So that is palate. So behind the nasal cavity and connecting with it are sinuses, no? Ang sa likod ng nasal cavity niyan, this is what we call sinuses. This one here is what we call sinuses, daanan ng hangin. So these are spaces in the bones of the skull which help them keep the skull as light as possible. At the base of the cranium is called foramen magnum. Here is the foramen magnum. Yung butas na yan, it's a hole ha, hole yan dyan. If i-front natin yan, that is a hole there. So translated in a big hole. Okay, that is a big hole there. It's a big hole. Kasi lang side view lang ang image. Okay, so through which the spinal cord passes. Dan dumadaan si spinal cord at dyan nyo rin nakikita ang tinatawag natin. On other side of these two are two small, smooth, rounded knobs or condyles that articulate moves against the first atlas vertebra. No, dyan din nakikita natin si atlas vertebra, ay si atlas and axis. Tapos connected doon sa cervical vertebra. Okay? So that is the skull. Now let's proceed to the paired ribs. So paired ribs are attached to each thoracic vertebra against which they move in breathing, no, pag huminga sila. So each rib is attached ventrally either to the sternum. So this is the sternum part. So it is attached ventrally or to the ribs, no, in front by a cartilage to form the rib cage that protects the heart and lungs. Okay, so in dogs, one pair of ribs is attached ventrally at all. So that is in the dogs. So wala tayo mag-dogs kasi hindi naman tayo veterinary. So they are called floating ribs. Usually floating ribs can be found in the swine also. Sa mga baboy, no, they have floating ribs. Okay? Yan. So birds have a large expanded sternum called keel. Okay? Ang tawag doon naman sa, 'di ba, yung makita niyo makapal sa kinakain niyo sa breast part, may makapal na part na parang muscle siya. So that is what we call it's a smooth bone. It's a smooth bone. That is what we call bird's keel. No, that's the keel ang tawag doon. Okay, so another term yun sa sa poultry. Okay, so to which the flight muscles, the breast meat of roast chicken are attached. No, yung sa breast part. Di ba pag kumakain ka ng breast, parang merong makapal, pero nakakain yun eh. Kakain nyo. Kaya ito ako kinakain ko yun. Kinakagat kasi parang crispy siya. Matigas siya konti. So that is smooth muscle. That is a muscle or a smooth bone. No, that is what we call keel. No, bakit may ganon type? Kasi pag flight muscle, kasi bakit makapal doon sa my breast? Kasi don't you know na it's a fact ha. Ang birds pag lumilipad, di ba pag nagfa-flight mode na, pag pagbaba nun nila, di ba ang nauuna is yung ribs, no? Ang naunang bumagsak ay yung ribs. Nabawalan sila ng control. Yon. So that's why ang kanilang breast is makapal. Okay, that's what we call keel. Okay, so this one is the part of the parts of the anatomy of the mammals. We have the forelimb. Saan yan forelimb located sa kamay natin? Ito yan, yung kamay natin. That is kamay natin, no? Sa harapan yan ng paa ng isang hayop. So, forelimb ang tawag po doon. That is consists of humerus. Okay, that consists of humerus, ulna, radius, carpals, metacarpals, and digits. The top of the humerus moves against articulate with the scapula at the shoulder joint by changing the number, size, and shape of various bones. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin nun? No? Saan makikita natin? Yung nakita lang sa, di ba, pag gumaganon tayo, di ba, pag ginaganyan natin yung katawan, yung kamay natin. And then you can feel like something here sa likod mo na parang makapal siya na flat. That is what we call scapula. Okay, that is what we call scapula. So, ang tawag mo naman dito sa may biceps, no, that is what we call humerus. Okay? Yung dito naman sa may elbow mo, sa may elbow part, that is what we call ulna. And then sa harap naman, that is radius. Okay? And then, itong ano mo, yung ganyan maliit-liit mo dyan, o sa may wrist mo, sa wrist, that is carpals. Okay? And then we have your metacarpals here. This is your metacarpals, yung palm. Okay, yung kamay. And then we have here your digits. This is your digits. Okay, dito yung digits mo. That is made up of a lot of joints. Okay, kuha nyo na. Yan. This is the digits. This is the metacarpals. Okay, kita nyo? Klaro ba? Metacarpals and this is the carpals. Yung inyong wrist. And we have here the radius. Ito yung harap. Tapos yung elbow naman, yung saan sa may elbow, linya niya, that is what we call ulna. Okay, and this is the humerus, yung saan yung biceps mo. Okay, that is humerus. Next is you have the hind limbs. Pag sinabi yung hind limbs sa likod or sa paa din natin yan nakikita. So, yun, sa likod ng hayop. Okay, so have a similar basic pattern to the forelimb. Parehas na sila pattern form. They consist of femur, patella, fibula, tibia, tarsals, metatarsals, and digits. Saan located si femur? It is connected with the pelvic girdle. Kung sa kamay natin is sa shoulder or the what we call this, the scapula. Pero sa paa naman, that is a pelvic girdle, kung saan siya connected dun sa pelvic girdle. So we have the femur here, yung tight natin, that is yung femur. Okay, yung legs, sinasabi natin legs. Yan. Pero tight ang tawag talaga dyan. And then we have the patella or the kneecap, yung ating knee. Okay, that is patella, that's kneecap. Okay. And you have fibula, yung likod, kung saan nagkakaroon tayo pag naliligo tayo, masakit minsan. Okay? And you have tibia, yung sa harap. Okay? Yung matigas na yung sa paa mo, yung matigas na bones dyan sa harap, that is what we call tibia. And we have the tarsals, yung inyong, yung sa baba, yung bilog dyan, sa baba, yan, that's tarsals. And you have the metatarsals. Okay? We have the metatarsals, yung sa inyong, yung flat type. Okay? And then we have the digits, yung inyong mga daliri. Okay? So this one, okay. So this are the parts of the, we have the frogs. So, hindi mo na kailangan i-memorize yan. Naman naman ba sa exam yan. So this one here is for exclusive or special only for horses. Okay, so we have special only for horses. So we have scapula. Okay, yung nga, ang saan connected, no? We have scapula. Both scapula yun. Yung sa horses, ito ha, sa horses, ito. Kasi ang horses, they have kung ano yung function ng harap, ganun lang ang function ng likod. Okay? So, they have the same humerus. Okay, they have the same humerus. But, ang hind limb ng kabayo ay may ulna or kneecap, tawag dyan. And then we have, they have ulna or elbow ba? Ganun. And then we have here the radius. Okay, the radius. And then we have the accessory carpals or saan located si bones, di ba? Kasi gumaganon yan gumaganon si sa nagatiko doon, yung nakatiko yan siya, tapos yung part na yun ng bilog, that is the knee bones of the horse. So what is special in the bone? What is special in the horse? They have what we call phalanges, no? They have phalanges 1, yan, P1 and not P3. So they have phalanges 1, P1. Okay? So distal phalanx and coffin bone called hoof. Hoof po ang tawag sa pinakapaanon. That is hoof. Yung dito, hoof po ang tawag niyan. Yung kanang deliri. So it is the third phalanges, the patella or the kneecap. Okay, the patella or the kneecap is embedded in a large tendon in front of the knee. No, tendon is a joint. Okay, it seems to smooth the movements of the knee. So the legs of the horse are highly adapted to give it great galloping speed over long distance. And we have the bones of the leg, wrist, okay? And we have the, ayan. So we have, ayan, the bones of the leg, okay? The bones of the leg, wrist, and foot are greatly elongated, and the hooves are greatly, yeah, the hooves are actually the tips of the third fingers and toes. Okay, the other digits having been lost or reduced. Okay, so always remember that the wings of birds and forelimbs, horse are homologous organs. Okay, what do you mean by homologous? Kasi there are two types. We have homologous and analogous organs. Pag sinabi mong homologous organs, homologous, HOMOLOGOUS, no? That is a structure shares a similar embryonic origin. Ibig sabihin, nasa ancestors tingin nang galing na ganyan talaga sila, physically, features sila, na mabilis lang tumakbo, ang work na takbo, lilipad sila, so that is homologous structures. Pag sinabi mo naman ng analogous structure, organs, that is have a similar functions. Magkapara sila ng similar function. So, yung kabayo is homologous, they have homologous organs and they have analogous organs. Pag sabing homologous, it is structure or similar from the embryonic origin. Pag sinabi namang analogous, that is an organs that have a similar functions. Okay? Next. We have the girdles pass on the push produced by the limbs of the body. So this is a pelvic girdle, example of pelvic girdle, or the scapula sa kamay. It's a triangle of bones surrounded by the muscles of the back but not connected directly to the spine. They're not connected to the spine. This arrangement helps it to cushion the body when landing after a leap and gives the forelimbs the flexibility to manipulate food or strike at prey. So animals that use their forelimbs for grasping. So yung mga animal that uses their forelimbs, no? Yung mga animals na ginagamit for forelimbs, ganun-ganon. Burrowing or climbing. Example is yung spiders, no? Spiders, they are using their forelimbs to climb, no? Ibig sabihin, they have well-developed clavicle. Ibig sabihin, develop ang kanilang clavicle kaya nakakaakyat sila, no? Or collarbone. Okay? Okay, so yung clavicle naman sa sa poultry, clavicle kasi sa poultry or collarbone sa poultry, ang tawag po diyan ay wishbone ang term nila. So it is a wishbone term, no? Yung clavicle ng poultry. No, wishbone po ang tawag dun sa kanila. Okay, this connects the shoulder girdle to the sternum. Animals like sheep, horses, and cows that use their forelimbs only for supporting the body and locomotions. Yan, sa hayop, mga sheep, small and large ruminants, no, they use it for supporting the body only para makatayo at saka locomotion, para makalakad. But they have no clavicle. Wala silang clavicle. Poultry has a clavicle and that is another term of wishbone. Okay? Di ba pag kumakain tayo, pinuputol natin, tapos we wish daw, sabi nila ganun. And we have the pelvic girdle or the hip bone, no? Yung sa hip bone natin, attaches the sacrum and the hind legs. Yan. It transmit the force of the leg thrust in walking or jumping directly to the spine. Yung like, pag tumatalon tayo, ganun. So we have, tapos pag nabagsak tayo, that's what we call pelvic girdle. Ang sakit talaga ng puwit ko. That's natamaan daw yung buto. Yung buto na yun, that is what we call pelvic girdle. Okay? We have here, thus we have long bones. No, these are what we call the types, no? The types of the bones. Okay? So, alam nga naman, we will talk about bones, but we are not, tapos hindi tayo talk ng types of bones. Of course, we need to talk about the types of the bones. Okay? So, there are types of bones, no, that are very important in the animal. So, thus we have long bones, no? This is the long bones. Okay? Like the femur, yeah. Saan yung femur nakita? Sa kamay, we have the radius and the finger bones, no? And we have short bones. You see this one here? Saan yung short bones? This one. Yan. Nakikita yan sa mga fingers yan, yung mga short bones ninyo. Like the ones of the wrist and ankle, yan. That is what we call short bones. And we have irregular bones like the vertebra. Saan ba nakikita sa irregular bones? This one? Doon sa iyong backbone. Doon lang talaga yung nakikita sa vertebra or sa irregular bones. Pag sinabi mong irregular bones, ibig sabihin, wala siyang specific type of shape, no? Iba-ibang shapes niya. And we have flat bones naman. Pag flat bones, ibig sabihin flat yung example, flat siya. And we have example is yun. We have the cranium, yun. Like the shoulder blade and the bones, the shoulder blade of the skull, yun, bones of the skull, and then finally there are bones that develop in the tissue separated from the main skeleton. Yan. And this we have the sesamoid. Example ng sesamoid is yung patella, yung kneecap, hawakan mo yung kneecap. Yung wag mong i-bend yung kneecap mo. Straight mo yung paa mo, hawakan mo yung kneecap. Di ba gumagalaw yung tuhod? Pwede siyang i-move. So that is sesamoid bones. Ibig sabihin, they are not connected with the bones, no? They are just separated from the main skeleton. Okay? Pero hindi natatanggal kasi diyan na yan siya because of there are joints na connected with them, which include bones like the patella or kneecap that develops in tendons. So tendons is it's a joint, okay? It's a joint. And visceral bones that develop in the soft tissues and then of the penis of the dog and cow's heart. Ito yung yung sinasabi na yung sa utin ng aso. Ayan. So that is yun, sa penis ng aso. So that is what we call visceral bones ang tawag doon. Di ba yung kanilang penis tapos maglalak yun doon? Okay, that is visceral bones. Yung naglalak talaga. Maglalak yun doon sa vagina ng babaeng aso. Yun. So this one is the parts of the bones of the birds. No, we have the beak, we have the humerus, radius, metacarpals, ulna, scapula. Yan, just familiarize where is the location can be found. No, can be seen. We have the coracoid here, the clavicle. Ito yung tinatawag nating wishbone. Okay, ito yung wishbone. And we have the sternum or the keel. Okay, and we have the tibia or fibula here and femur. Okay. So, the most noticeable difference is that the bones of the forelimbs are elongated to act as wings. Bakit elongated yung forelimbs niya? Bakit pa ganun? Kasi para makapag-fly sila, no? So, the large flight muscles make up to much 15th of the body weight. So, hindi siya mabigat. And are attached to extensions term called the keel. Okay? Sorry. This is the keel. Sorry. We have the vertebra of the lower back. Okay? Are fused to provide the rigidity needed to produce in the flying movements. There are also many adaptations to produce the weight of the skeleton. So, for instance, birds have a break rather than teeth, and many of the bones are hollow. Ano yung mga hollow na yun na bones? That is what we call pneumatic bones. Yung pneumatic bones, it has an air inside the bones. Usually, nakikita yan siya sa wings para makapag-fly yung bird. Okay? That is a bone specialized only for poultry or birds. Okay? So let's proceed now to the types of bone. What is parts of the bones? What is inside the bones? Okay? Siyempre, curious tayo. Sir, ano ba yung meron sa bones? Ano pa ba meron sa loob ng bones? Ayan. So, curious tayo niyan. So, dapat, nandun talaga yung curiosity, right? Kasi curiosity is virtue. Yan. So, what is, yan, we have a long bone consists of a central portion or shaft. Okay, so we have here the shaft. This is the long bone. Okay, this is the shaft. And we have here the epiphysis. Ito yung mga outside, external part ng bones. Okay, ito yung epiphysis. And then yung bilog-bilog, yung kinakain natin lagi sa chicken. Yung bilog-bilog na yan, that is condyles. Okay, and long bones move against circulate with other bones at joints and their ends and have flattened surfaces and a rounded protuberance. You have the condyles. Yan. That's the condyles is the work of the condyles is to articulate or moves against. To make this possible, if you carefully examine a long bone, you may also see raised or rough surfaces. This is where the muscles that move the bones are attached. Okay, where the muscles that move the bones are attached. So you will also see holes. Hole is a foramen. Okay? You will also see holes doon. So, in the bone. So, blood vessels and nerve pass into the bone through this. So, dadaan doon sa foramen. Saan yan si foramen nandyan? Meron yan si foramen dyan sa dulo. Okay, dadaan dyan si dyan si blood vessels and nerves. Kasi, diyan naman kasi sa bones yung creation or production of blood. And then you may also be able to see a fine line at each end of the bone. So this is called the growth plate or epiphyseal. Ayan. Line and marks the place where increase in length of bone occurred. Okay, so these are the part of the bone. Listen carefully, okay? Because right after this, you will be having your quiz. So the outer shell is covered by a tough fibrous sheet to which the tendons are attached. Okay? So under this is a layer of hard, dense, compact bone. Ano yung compact bone, no? Compact bone is Mama, inayamay mo tingog. And then we have here the compact bone. That is part of the bones, no? Which is saan nagko-cover. Okay, yung bones, it's what we call compact bone. So this gives the bone its strength. Okay? So the central cavity contains fatty yellow marrow. So sa gitna nun, yan, the shaft, di ba yan yung shaft na pinag-usapan natin yung long bone? Gitna niyan, it has a yellow marrow. So an important energy store for the body, yan. Diyan is to store yung energy ha, for the body. And the ends are made from the honeycomb-like. So ano yung honeycomb-like ng ends part niya? Dito yun, yung honeycomb, yung spongy bone. That is a material called spongy bone, yung parang honeycomb-like. Okay? So that is what we call a honeycomb-like. Yung honeycomb-like, yan. Spongy bone containing marrow, that is honeycomb-like. So ano yung work ng spongy bone containing marrow? Diyan yung tinatawag natin red marrow. Contains red marrow where red blood cells are made. Diyan yung production of red blood cells, ha? Yan, diyan yun. Hindi sa spleen, kundi sa bone. Ayan. Kaya nga minsan pag ganito ang nangyayari. Pag hindi ma-identify doon sa iyong mga resulta sa laboratory, CBC, mga CT scan, gano'n, hindi makita yung tunay na sakit mo, kung ano yung deficiency mo. So, ang gagawin ng doktor is to get at least a piece of flesh or a piece of part doon sa iyong bone marrow. Masakit yun, super. Doon sa bone marrow kinukuha kasi sa bone marrow nalalaman kung saan ka deficiency o saan ka deficient. Okay? And then we have here the compact bone. So let's focus only to Harvesian system. No, Haversian system. The Haversian system is where each of this ventricles is called Harvesian system. Ano yung work ng Harvesian systems is to where the blood vessels and nerves run along the central canal to each Harvesian system. Ano nga ba yung Harvesian system? Okay, let me explain it to you mas madali. Yung Harvesian system, ang work ng Harvesian system is to saan dumadaan yung blood vessels, yung dugo. 'Di ba? Nga sa spongy bone, doon ginagawa yung blood, right? Doon ginagawa yung red marrow or red blood, yung red blood cells, right? And then doon naman sa shaft, doon naman nasa-store yung energy, right? No, sa Haversian system, diyan dumadaan yung mga energy, yung mga bagong gawa ng mga red blood cells or dugo. Okay? So spongy bone gives bones lightness with strength. No, that's the work of spongy bone, to give lightness with strength. No, it consists of an irregular lattice that looks like an old-fashioned loofah. As you can see, it's like a loofah. Ayan. It is found on the ends of the long bones and make up most of the bone tissue of the limb, girdles, ribs, sternum, vertebra, and skull. So the spaces contain red marrow, which is where the red blood cells are made and stored. Okay? So we have here, how will you know if the bone is already mature? No? Sa pagkabata pa lang, before birth, like mga ilang months pa lang yung bata. Sabi nila, wag masyadong yung bata, baka mabinat. Kasi nga, yung buto is bata pa. Kaya nga, immature pa yung bone doon. Wala pang epiphyseal plate doon na nangyayari. Epiphyseal plate. Bata pa kasi siya. So yung kanyang buto is may possibility na pwede pang masira or magkaroon ng pwedeng masira yung kanyang buto. So ang nangyayari ngayon as the growth development goes by, no, yung immature bone ay kasi yung tawag dun sa bata pa lang, yung sa bone nila, ang tawag sa bones nila is cartilage. ang tawag doon. Later on, pag-usapan natin yung cartilage. Okay? Cartilage ang tawag doon. So, as the growing of the bone, no, ang tawag na yan is matured bone, as what we call epiphyseal plate. Where, di ba, pag maging matanda na tayo, so makaka-feel na tayo ng mga, arthritis, yan, pananakit ng so, kasukasuan. So, that is, maging epiphyseal plate na siya, so nagkakaroon na ng, minsan kakulangan ng nutrients sa buto. Kasi nga, matured yung bone natin. Matigas, kahit anong gawin mo pa, hindi na nababali. Yan. So, pag mamatay tayo, no, yung buto natin naiiwan talaga doon sa lupa. Okay? Siya yung buhay na buhay. So, let's talk about joints na naman, no? Yung mga joints, kanina ko kasi sinasabi sa inyo, yung mga ligaments, cartilage, yung tendons, yun. Okay, joints are the structures in the skeleton where two or more bones meet, no? Ano ibig sabihin ng two or more bones meet? Hindi agad-agad niyan na buto agad, din buto na naman, no? Hindi ganoon. There is a joints, no? Anong tawag ng joints na yan? Siya yung taga-dikit. Okay? There are several different types of joints, so some are immovable. Ano ibig sabihin ng immovable? Once the animal has reached maturity, hindi na makakalakad, hindi na makakagalaw because it's already matured ang joints niya. So that is immovable. Kaya nga pag masyadong matanda ka na, lulubog ka na kasi nga your joints and your bones are not moving anymore. Okay, so examples of these are those between the bones, okay, of the skull and the midline joint of the pelvic floor. Kaya nga dapat, kahit matanda na tayo, dapat nag-exercise tayo para gana talaga yung mga joints nating maggalaw. Some are slightly movable, like, kasi ang mangyayari kasi, hindi tayo nag-exercise, pagtanda natin, magkakaroon ng friction. Ano yung friction? Yung pananakit ng buto, no? Magkakaroon ng friction yon. So walang liquid, walang fluid doon na para mag-move, no? So some are slightly movable like the joints between the vertebrae, but most joints allow free movement and have a typical structure with a fluid-filled cavity separating the articulating surfaces. Ayan. So move again. So we have this kind of joint is called synovial joint. Yung tawag na yon, we have synovial joint here. Yan. This one, a fluid. Okay, that is synovial joint. So the joint is held together by the bundles of white fibrous tissues are called ligaments. So later we will tackle that. Ano ibig sabihin ng ligaments, tendons, at saka cartilage. And the fibrous capsules encloses the joint. So the inner layers of this capsule secrete the synovial fluid. Okay, so yun, may synovial fluid doon. And then, acts as lubricant. Yun na nga, kasi pag walang synovial fluid, walang lubrication, magkakaroon ng friction. Okay? So next we have the articulating surfaces of the bones are covered with cartilage that reduces friction. Anong gawain ng cartilage? Yung parang sa bearing ng sa bike at motor, yan, nire-reduce yung friction. And some joints, example like the knee, have a pad of cartilage between the surfaces of articulate with each other. And we have here the shape of the articular bones in a joint and arrangement of ligaments determine the kind of movement made by the joints. You have some joints only allow to and from gliding movement. Ayan. So, for gliding movement, we have yan. Joints only allow to and from gliding movement. Example, between the ankle and wrist, no? That is what we call gliding movement sa wrist. And the joints at the elbow, yung joints mo sa elbow, knee, and fingers are hinge joints, no? And allow movement in 2 dimensions and axis vertebra pivots on the atlas vertebra. Okay? Magkakaroon tayo ng summarization yan para mas madaling intindihin. And we have ball and socket joints. Yan. Ball and socket joints like those at the shoulder and hip, okay, allow the greatest range of movement. Okay, next, yan. This one. Para summarize na lang. We have common names of joints. We have some joints in animals are given common names that tend to be confusing. For example, the joint between the femur. Where's that femur located? Nandiyan pa ba kayo? Hi. Okay, nandiyan pa sila. Okay, saan located yung Saan located yung femur? Saan nga located yung femur?
Shoulder, sir.
Okay, that is not shoulder. Sa iyong forelimb. Okay? forelimb. And the tibia on the hind leg is our knee. But in the animals, that is staple ang tawag. Stifle po ang tawag dyan. So our ankle joint between the tarsals and metatarsals is the hock in animals. Okay, so our knuckle joint between the metacarpals and metatarsals and the phalanges is the fetlock in the horse. Later this diagram, makita niyo. And the knee on the horse is equivalent to our wrist. Okay, may equivalent sila. So this one, as you can see here, we have the stifle and this is the knee. And you have the hock here and you have the fetlock. Okay, so this one in the dog, here is the stifle, the knee, yeah, the knee. And we have here the hock. Okay, so this one, humans and bears put the whole surface of foot on the ground when they walk, no? Ganyan naman sa tao, di ba? Nandun talaga. Ito yung type ng ating paa. Okay? So this is known as plantigrade locomotion. So ang tawag pala sa paa natin, yung nalalagay lahat yung foots yan. Surface natin is on the palms of the hand. Ibig sabihin yung palms natin is nasa lupa as in the humans and bears. So our locomotion is plantigrade locomotion. Now yung fingers lang ang nandoon sa ang natatouch sa ground. Example is yung cats and dogs, no? Yung paw nila. So that is, yung paw nila hindi naman natatouch yun, yung fingers lang. So that is what we call digitigrade locomotion. This is digitigrade locomotion. Okay, we have unguligrade locomotion, yung fingernails tulad ng horse that has a phalanges, and swine, yung sa baboy, di ba? Napapansin niyo ito sa baboy? And sa goat, no, you have. Ang tawag po sa kanila locomotion is unguligrade locomotion. Okay? Let's have a summary. The skeleton maintains the shape of the body. Yan. Protects the internal organs and make locomotion possible. So the vertebra support the body and protect the spinal cord. So they consist of cervical vertebra in the neck, ang tawag. Sa thoracic naman vertebra is the chest region, which articulate with the ribs, no? And then you have the lumbar vertebra in the loin region. Sa maraming meat, maraming muscle, makapal na muscle. Sacral vertebra that is fused to the pelvis to form a sacrum. And the tail is coccygeal vertebra. Okay, we have next, we have skull. Because skull protects the brain and seses organ. So the cranium forms a solid box, no? Enclosing the brain. So the mandible forms the jaw. Okay. The forelimb consists of humerus, radius, ulna, carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges. Dapat familiar nyo na kasi lumabas yan sa board exam eh. Doon sa clap protection. Tinanong doon na, what do you call the other name of the insect penis? Yun. Tapos ang mga choices doon yan, yung mga humerus, radius, ulna, tapos may ibang term doon na na insect penis. Yun ang sagot doon. Basta alam niyo if you're familiarized with that choices. Alam niyo na ngayon kung na hindi pala yun sila penis. Tapos ang sinagot doon ng aking estudyante ay sabi niya, sir, ang sinagot ko doon sir is sir? Ulna. Tawa talaga kami sa kanya. Sabi niya pa, ulna? Di ba? Sabi niya, ulna. Sabi ko, ano yan? Finger mo yung sabi ko, penis, finger. Ay, sorry, femur daw yung sagot niya doon. Sabi niya, femur yung sagot ko doon, sir. Kasi yun yung parang sa tingin ko ang tamang sagot. Hindi naman yun ang sagot kasi yung femur, yan sa hinlib yan, pinifinger mo yung yung vagina, sabi ko ganun. Tawa ng tawa kami. Pero wag kayo ha, nakapas siya sa board exam. Kaya yung tawa-tawa talaga kami kasi actually hindi siya natulog ng 2 gabi. Kaka-study. Kasi ginagrab niya yung opportunity na nandun ako habang nagtatanong siya. Ayun, so hindi siya natulog talaga pero hindi siya naligo pagkabukas. Para syempre, ayun yung mamamatay. Syempre, ganun. Yun, para siyang high. Sabi niya pa, deserve niya yun. Deserve niya. Kasi last chance niya na yun eh. Third take niya na yun eh. Yun. Sabi ko sa kanya, mag-study ka. Study ka talaga. So, mag-study siya kasi nasa hotel kami. Yun. Kahit gano'n pa ka, kahit kahit nagtatempt sa, temptation yung aircon sa kanya, wala siyang pakialam. Importante may natutunan siya. Kasi andun ako. Kasi every time na may tanong siya, na-explain ko lang. Yun. So, effective pala yung hindi maligo. Kasi yung sinabi ko sa kanya, huwag ka maligo. Kasi yung time ako, hindi ako naligo. Ang inano ko lang yung katawan ko. Nilinis ko yung katawan ko. Basta yung ulo ko, wag lang iligo. Wag lang siya basain. Kasi mabigat kasi siya. Ganun. Yun, ano ko lang yun, advice ko lang yun sa iba. Kung gustuhin nyo din. Yun, nakapasa siya. Yun. And we have here the hind limbs consist of the femur, patella, tibia, fibula tarsals, and metatarsals, and digits. So it moves against articulates with the pelvis of at the hip joint. So we have the bones articulate against each other at joints. Online lang din po yun siya online. Pero nakita lang kami nung pag-exam na nag face to face doon. Nag-grab niya yung opportunity na nandun ako. And we have compact bone. Yan. In the shaft of long bones. Ayan. Gives them strength. So that is the work of the compact bone is to give their strength. And we have the spongy bone which is giving locomotion. Okay? So are you still there? So we can have our quiz.
Yes, sir.
Just raise your hand if you're still there. Raise your hand. Very good. Very good. Okay. Jason, natulog na? Jason, natulog na si Jason? Wala si Jason natulog.
Busy ata, sir.
Oh, busy siguro siya. Pero alam niya na yan eh. Perfect nga siya dito eh. Okay, so let's have gusto-gusto niyo to eh. Gusto-gusto na topic ko to. Okay, let's have our quiz. Okay. You should have your kung saan kayo mag-notes, you should have your notebook there. Pag notebook and then sulatin niyo lang yung sagot. Okay? Ay, pakilagay na lang din ng number. Kasi hindi nakalagay yung number dyan. Ni-next ko ha, tapos if ever na hindi pa kayo tapos, so sabihin nyo lang sa akin na, sir, pwede pa balik, gano'n na lang. Okay, are you done? Raise your hand to those natapos na so we can have our rationale to the answers. Raise your hand if you are done. Okay, Job tapos na. How about Rosalie? Rosalie, tapos na. Si Eric. Tapos na si Eric. Okay, si Che, tapos na. Ma'am Che. Che, are you done? Okay, so let's check. No, baka nakatulog na si Ma'am Che. Ayan, let's check from the very beginning. Okay, number 1. Who's raising their hand? Nagre-raise ng hand. Che. Okay, so let's now proceed. So let's have, okay, number 1, the vertebral column consists of a series of bones called vertebra. The correct answer is vertebra. Okay, number 2, the vertebra support the body and protect the what? The spinal cord. Letter C. Okay. Next, the shape and size of the vertebra of mammals vary from the neck to the tail. In the neck, there are blank with the two top ones, the atlas and axis, being specialized to support the head and allow it to nod yes and to shake no. That is part of cervical vertebra. Okay, letter C. Next, blank in the chest region have special surfaces against which the ribs move during breathing. Grazing animals like cows and giraffes that have two support way heads on the long necks. The correct answer here is thoracic vertebra. Okay? Blank in next, we have blank in the loin region are usually large, strong vertebra with prominent spines for the attachment of large muscles at of the lower back. The correct answer is letter D, lumbar vertebra. Next, there are variable number of small bones in the tail called the letter A, coccygeal vertebra. Next, the box enclosing and protecting the brain is called the cranium, letter B. Next, the bony wall of the cranium encloses the middle and inner ears, protects the organs of smell in the nasal cavity, and the eyes in sockets. From the word itself, sockets, that is letter C, orbit. Okay, that is orbit. Next, the teeth are inserted to the upper and lower jaws. The lower jaw is also known as the letter D, mandible. Okay, that is mandible. At the front of the skull is the nasal cavity, separated from the mouth by a plate of bone called plato down. Na bone are called palates. Letter E. At the base of the cranium is the blank, translated as a big hole. Okay, the link word here is big hole, through which the spinal cord passes. That is letter A, foramen magnum. Next, each rib is attached ventrally either to the blank or to the rib in front by cartilage to form the rib cage that protects the heart and lungs. This is sternum, letter C. Okay, it is letter C. Birds have a large expanded sternum called the blank to which the flight muscles, the breast meat of the roast chicken are attached. The correct answer is letter A, kill. Next, you have bones articulate against each other. Pag sinabi mong articulate against each other, that is letter B, joints. That is joints. Okay. Yung ligaments, sir, ano nga ba yung ligaments? Okay, so yung ligaments, it is a fibrous connective tissue that attaches bone to bone. Okay, yung ligaments, that is bone to bone. Okay? Yung tendons naman, that is bind muscle to bone. Ilagay ko na lang sa chat. Nakita niyo na. Ligaments is bone to bone. It is a joint that connected bone to bone. Tendons. It is a joint that, connecting with muscle to bone. So yan, nilagay ko na sa chat ha. Makirite. Ganyan lang maglagay. Para mas madaling maintindihan. Okay, next. Length in the shaft of long bones give them their strength. What is that? In the shaft of long bone, that is compact bone. Letter A. Next. Bone at locomotion, that is spongy bone. Letter B. Next. Okay, what are the five parts of vertebra? Who can answer this? Okay, Johnny, what are the 5 parts of vertebra?
Thoracic vertebra, lumbar vertebra, cervical vertebra, sacral vertebra, and coccygeal vertebra.
Very good. Perfect. That are the parts of vertebra. Thank you, Johnny. Next. Who can answer this one? What are the 5 types of bones? Stephanie.
Long bone, short bone, flat bone, irregular bone, and sesamoid bone.
Very good. Perfect. Bale, ang tatalino. So, nakikinig pa pala kahit tulog na. Okay, this one. How about this one? Parts of forelimb. Anyone? What are the parts of forelimbs? Rosalie? Rosalie, iba na naman. What are the parts of forelimbs?
Humerus, radius, ulna, carpals, digits or phalanges.
Very good. Digits or phalanges. Very good. So we have, yun, that's our forelimb. How about the hind limb? Who can answer? Anyone else? Okay, let's have Eric. Sir Eric, what are the parts of hind limb?
Hindi ko siya nasagutan, sir.
Hindi ba sagutan? Si Ma'am Jov, what are the parts of hind limb? Okay, let's wait pa iba ha. Si Ma'am Jov, what are the parts of hind limb? Hindi kita naririnig, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Narinig na
Apa
po.
yan?
Ano po? Femur, patilla, tibia, fibula, tarsals, metatarsals, at saka po digits.
Very good. Digits or phalanges. Next. What do you call a special bone for birds? Okay, I will ask again si Eric. Eric, what do you call the special bone for birds? Eric, for flight mode. Anong bones yon?
Pneumonic bone.
Very good. That is pneumatic bone.
Alam ko pneumonic.
That is pneumatic bone, not pneumatic. That's pneumatic bone. Okay, correct. Very good. Next. The production of RBC is found in, saan siya nakikita? Let's have Ma'am Cheche. Ay, natulog na yan. So, who wants to answer this one? Raise your hand. Oh, Stephanie.
Bone marrow, sir. Found in the spongy bone.
Saan?
Sa spongy bone.
Very good. Sa spongy bone, yung RBC, where the RBC are found in the spongy bone. The energy stored in yellow marrow. Okay? Next. Okay, wala na pala. So that's all for tonight, guys. Who got perfect score? Okay, who got the perfect score? Who got perfect score? Hi, who got perfect score? Wala? Okay. I want you to put in the chat box of pilain yung score. Kung ilan ang score ninyo. Ilan ang score ninyo? Tingin lang. Okay, 20/22. Okay ba? Stephanie got 20/22. Si Ma'am Job, the same, 20/22. Si Johnny, 21/22. Very good. Rosalie, how about Rosalie? 19, very good. How about Eric? Okay, 18 over. Hindi na masama. So that's good. Okay, thank you very much everyone for listening to me tonight. Oh, we are done. Early, 10:40 p.m. So tomorrow will be your posts about the introduction and this one. Okay, discussion. Tomorrow again, 100 items. Okay? Bye-bye class for tonight. Bye. Good night. See you on see you on Saturday. Ha? Bye-bye. Have a Holy Week.
Sir, Nike, may sugma, sir. Ako ka ng postes.
Postes. Yes, isent na ako sa
Ang
GC.
sa?
Morning na ako isent in the morning, alas 8, and then isent ninyo sa kuha at the end. To 8.
Ngayon lang ako nakabalik, sir. Sorry. Sir, sorry, sir.
Okay lang. Sorry.
Meron kasi
Yan,
ano,
so
sir,
yun na.
bisita.
Again,
Hinarap ko muna.
okay lang. Alam ko naman kasi perfect nung nakaraan dun eh. Perfect ka nung nakaraan dun eh. Sige, tomorrow will your postes ha. 100 items. Alas 8 in the morning. Okay? And also in the, it will be passed by tomorrow evening alas 8. So, magbibigay lang ako ng answer. Iha, hindi lang ako magbibigay ng rationally on that. Kasi, nasa biyaya ako tomorrow. I will be in, kasi bukas we will be in the island.
Nahiya naman akong bigla, sir. Ngayon lang pumasok.
Magbe-beach kami sa attorney bukas. By Thursday. So, yun na. Bye-bye, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.
Sir, sorry, sir, ha?
Okay lang. Bye-bye. May recordings naman to. Tomorrow, panoorin mo lang.
Sige, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye, Ma'am Rosalie. Bye, Ma'am Johnny. Bye-bye, Cheche.
Sir.
Napakwento yung yung bisita ko.
Ni, marami
Bisita
marami
namin.
kayong nalaman. Bye na.
Imbis
Bye
pala,
yan.
imbis namin.
Parang
Ang
kayo.
nanain ng kuloy.
Bye-bye na. End the call.
Ang sarap niyang kakwentuhan, ha? Grabe, ha?
Bye-bye,
Di ka,
sir.
di ka tulad ni... Di ka tulad ni...
Nakita si Eric, oh.
Oo nga. Gwapong-gwapo eh, no? Gwapong-gwapo.
Di katulad ni
Bye.
ano
Pero
yung
Hustling,
jelly.
Sasagot pa ako, sir. Tinatandaan ko yung forelimb at saka hip limb.
Okay na. Bye-bye na everyone.
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night, ma'am.